Good morning, YouTubers and possibly Bitcoiners. Today we're going to go through a little tutorial on how to do some transactions on Binance, which is the largest crypto exchange by volume. I'm just going to run through some basics like how to make orders for coins and how to make and how to trade the futures, how to use that platform. Starting on this page here is very standard page, and like I'm hoping that if you're going to trade crypto, you already have crypto and you already know how to buy it. But if you don't, well, if you do, so here's the address. You just click on whatever cryptocurrency you already have, and you just fund it. Obviously, you already have crypto. You understand how that process works. If you don't, you have cash and you don't understand what to do, then just Binance has a lot of options here. I think you can use credit card to buy crypto. Yeah, so there's Visa. So they have other payment methods, but either you can use Visa or credit card, and you can go through that method. It used to be a lot harder, but I think it's more straightforward now. So anyway, so assume you got your crypto on your Binance account. What you do next is these are the spot market. So you're going to be greeted with the screen. You're going to have this nice candlestick chart. They have their own, but I prefer using the TradingView one. And the reason is because with TradingView, and you can just adjust these screens as you like. You can even turn off the volume. But what I like with the TradingView feature is that you can just draw things like support, resistance lines. You can customize the color of the lines. Right. So this is a very nice little feature to use. There's a lot of things you can explore here. You can explore your profit and loss. If you were to short Bitcoin here, if you were to buy Bitcoin here and you set a stop here, you can set your stop in, profit and loss and stuff like that. So it's a very, very nice tool. And if you come over to the left-hand side over here, this might look really crazy to you, but you don't have to pay too much attention to it. This is the order flow. So it'll give you the amount of Bitcoin that's currently for sale at this price. And that's all it gives you, right? So like a lot of people, it's called level 2 trading. A lot of day traders will look at the order flow to kind of get an idea of where the momentum is shifting. Most of the time you can kind of ignore this. But that's what that is in case you're freaking out. But what this is over here is this is where you're actually going to be able to find all the listed coins that you trade. And Binance obviously lists like hundreds, if not thousands. So like ADA, I've got some ADA. So what I did was I started, and then so that way, if I go to my favorites real quick, it'll just pull up all my favorites. So Ethereum, Litecoin, Bitcoin, Bitcoin, USDT, Bitcoin, Binance USD, Bitcoin, USDC, which is Circles. These are all stable coins, and yeah, so that's ADA. So then obviously Binance is giving you leverage on these things, so 10x leverage, 3x leverage. I mean, how you want to play that is up to you, but that's what this window basically shows you. And there's a lot of things you can look up. Let's see. So this tells market trade just tells you the most recent trades, the most recent orders that was buys, sell, whatnot. So, and then if you come over here, you get your option to start buying or selling Bitcoin. Cross means that's when you start using leverage. Cross and isolated is something new that they've added. This feature basically, let's say you've got $1,000 in your spot wallet. Spot. Oh, I should go over that. Spot means you're buying the actual asset. Binance also offers derivatives like futures and options. Those are other things, so that's why there's spot and there's derivatives. So if you ever see spot market, that means you're buying the actual thing, right? If you're buying a stock, you got the stock. If you're buying Bitcoin, you get an actual Bitcoin. Anyway, so what cross means is, let's say you got $1,000 in your wallet. Cross means you can leverage that $1,000 to buy $3,000 worth of positions. And the reason it says cross is because you can buy 1,000 in Bitcoin, another 1,000 in ADA, and so it means it's crossing the wallets. The value of the wallet is crossing across these different coins. Isolated means that it's only used for Bitcoin. Once you use isolated, you purchase $1,000. You got $1,000 worth of Bitcoin. It's leveraged 10,000. You can only purchase $10,000 worth of Bitcoin maximum, right? I don't recommend you going 100. You going 10x though. You're gonna blow your account so fast. But let's just assume you just want to buy $1,000 worth. you don't want to use leverage, then you just go to spot and you can start inputting the price that you want to buy it at and the amount of Bitcoin that you want to buy it at. And they even have this nice feature that says, like, if you don't want to do the math yourself and you just say, well, I want half my money in Bitcoin, you click that, get it to 50%, and it'll automatically tell you how much Bitcoin you can get depending on your money. I've got no USDT in here right now. That's why it's saying I can't buy any. That's why. And then same thing for selling. Market order means it's basically market execution. Whatever the current price is at that moment that you execute, that's the price the buy or sell order executes at. You have other options like stop limit. There you go. Stop limit. There we go. So now you can set the price that you want it. So let's say you don't want to buy Bitcoin at this price, and you want to buy Bitcoin lower, but you're going to be busy later. So you set the order for, like, let's say I wanted to set it to 32,200 because I'm expecting a pullback. Then I'll set that order for 32,200. The amount, the price. So stop is the trigger price. Limit is the price you're actually going to pay, and the Bitcoin is obviously the amount that you're going to buy. So that's how spot market works. And over here is if you want to play derivatives, which is where I trade at. I play the coin futures. So here is my position on Bitcoin right now. Bitcoin USD perpetual. So futures has some options. Futures has expiry dates. There's a March expiration, there's a June expiration, and there's a perpetual. I play the perpetual because I'm not trying to hedge any positions. I don't care about expiration dates. Now, I want you to understand that the expiration dates do have a price premium. So it's very interesting that the March price of Bitcoin is almost $1,200 more than the perpetual, which means the market is feeling bullish about Bitcoin. They feel like it's going to be worth more than it is today. So that's why there's a price premium. See, June is all the way up to 37,000, even though the actual price of Bitcoin is 35,000. These are things you're going to need to learn on your own in terms of what they mean, because there's times when the market flips negative and this price will actually be lower than the spot price of Bitcoin. So those are some characteristics you're going to have to remember. Anyway, I play the perpetuals. So you can see here, what you're looking at here is same thing. I'm using the trading view, not the original view, but the trading view. And that allows me to draw on it. You can see I've had, I used to have drawings on here. I guess I deleted it, but yeah, so same thing as before, right? You can change to the 15-minute candles to get more in-depth look, the hourly candles, daily candles, right? You can see Bitcoin is looking bullish because we broke out of the old trend, the old resistance trend. So I play the hourly though. And right now, let me just describe what we're looking at right here. So this is my P&L, my profit and loss. What does 80 mean? Well, I'm playing futures contracts, so I'm not buying Bitcoin. I don't own 80 Bitcoin. I own 80 contracts. Now, each contract represents $100. So this means I'm holding a $8,000 position on Bitcoin. Now, what that means is if Bitcoin price increases, say 1%, then I've just made $80. Bitcoin is up about 1.5%. So my profit's just over $100. Right, so it'll tell you, and you can actually change this feature. My unit is in contracts. You can change the unit into BTC, how much BTC you've made. I like to know how much contracts I'm holding. So that's what a profit L means. Once you're below that, you're losing money. You're above that, you're making money. Take profit market trigger. So that's my trigger. So I've set an automatic trigger for what to exit this position. And so how you do that is you click over here, TPSL, take profit, stop loss. So once you click that, you get greedy with this window. It'll look like this. And what you'll see is you can set your stop loss and you can set your take profit. And I've set my take profit, I think it was 36,500. Yeah, 36,500. And it'll give you a preview of what your profit would be in Bitcoin if it hits that target. And if you want to set a stop loss, so let's say I want to set a stop loss with 33,800, it'll tell you what your loss in Bitcoin would be. I don't want to set a stop loss for this because that's just me. I rarely set stops unless, well, there's certain conditions, but I'm not going to teach how to trade on this one, just how to run the platform. So And also, so that's what you're looking at here. And also what I'm showing here is this, I have an order at 40,088. Don't ask me how I arrived at that number, but I'm planning to reload more on this order at that price. So let me start a fresh order for you so you kind of understand what that looks like. So I'm doing a limit order. Again, market, you execute at the market price. Limit, you set the price that you want to purchase it at. So I wanted to buy it at 30, it was 34,088, and I wanted 20 contracts. And I hit buy long, and boom, just like that, it'll tell me what my order is. Now, one of the most awesome features I like about Binance is that you don't have to cancel down here. Like, they'll give you a list of your orders, your open orders. I have a bunch right here. You don't have to go and cancel them here. It's a little messy. You can just visualize it on the candlestick chart here and just cancel, boom, boom. And look, I've got another order at 33,200 because just in case it's coming back for a retest of the line, the resistance line we just broke through, then I'm going to buy in again a little bit more. So that's how the futures works. And let me describe this area a little bit for you too. Excuse me. Sometimes if you don't want to use the TPSL section here to get out of your position, you have another option of getting out here. So if I want to exit at 36,500, I can exit here 36,500, size 80. But then what you really want to click is this TPSL. So again, take profit, stop loss. One of the most wonderful things about the the Binance, platform is that any of these features that's got an underline on it, you can just mouse over it and it will tell you exactly the explanation. So it's a nice platform to learn and start on because a lot of these things, like what does post only mean, right? So there's a lot of these little features that'll help you understand with these reduce only, right? So if that was my exit, I would put reduce only. And then if you look over here on the margin ratio, because I'm playing on margin, sorry, I forgot to mention that. So the reason I like playing futures is because I get quite high leverage with it. I'm playing 100x leverage. You could go as low as 1, so you're playing 1 for 1. I'm playing 100x leverage. So what that means is, in order for me to take this $8,000 position, I'm risking $80, which is 0.0022 Bitcoin, which is $80 USD, and leveraged 100 times. I'm holding a $8,000 contract position, and so that's what leads us here to this margin ratio. I have quite a bit of Bitcoin in my account, which is why the margin ratio is only 12.12%, which means I'm risking 1.12% of my entire portfolio. Right? Margin ratio because maintenance balance divided by margin balance. Your positions will be liquidated once it reaches 100%. So if you can imagine, it would take a lot for this to reach 100%. Now, maintenance requirement. So what that means is, on top of your position, what it costs you to hold that position, you need a minimum of this, which is like $40 in my account to hold this position, just in case, because no one's going to lend you 100 times the value of your account or rather to hold it 100 times the value of your position without having some protections. Meaning, if this price action went against me 0.1%, I would need $40 to hold that position. If it went against me another 0.1% and I didn't have that $40, this account would be automatically closed. Right. So you want to watch these margin ratios really, really closely. And one of the nice features about Binance is that they'll give you this little indicator here to saying that you're going to be in trouble. But again, that's one of the reasons I'm not setting stops, because I like to have a little room to play in terms of how much money I have in my account. If this thing moves against me and even 10% against me, I'm not even going to be in 1% danger. So I think that's that for Binance. I mean, you can get really in depth with how this exchange works, but there's no better way to explore how to use it than to use it, right? And so, one thing that's really cool about Binance is like, especially for the futures, they'll have something called a leaderboard, and this allows you to kind of match yourself against either yourself, keep track of your earnings, or like track yourself against other people. So like, my profit and loss today is like 0.01 Bitcoin, which is kind of nice to know. And one of the other features is they also have a P&L analysis for futures right here. Yeah, see, so I've hidden my actual P&L, but you can still see the percentages though. I've had 14 winning days with 15 losing days. Win rate obviously less than my losses, but yet I'm still able to profit. So I mean, that's one of the traits of a decent trader, right? You can lose as many times as you've won, but you've still made quite a bit more times your risk, because it's all about risk management. But this is one of the nice features about Binance. You can go back all the way to 90 days. My 90 days, I've had 54 winning days, 36 losing days, 60% win ratio, and 0.8 profit and loss. So I've still won more than I lost by a ratio of 1, or a factor of 0.88. So anyway, this is I highly recommend Binance. I mean, I started off playing on BitMEX, and these are future exchanges. So I played on BitMEX originally, and I moved to Bybit because I actually got banned on BitMEX, and I started playing Binance. The BitMEX thing was weird because so the U.S. government says their citizens can't play Bitcoin futures, and so they banned all U.S. residents from playing Bitcoin futures. And the thing is, at the time, I still do. I was using a VPN, and the address was the IP address was in the States, and so they thought I was an American, and they banned my account. I tried to open a ticket and try to get that resolved, but that's also another reason I don't like BitMEX. Their customer service is dog shit. And so when you open a ticket, almost nobody ever helps you. I mean, the fact that I registered as a Canadian, that I went through the whole KYC process that proves that I'm Canadian, and they still close my account, just shows you how shit of an organization they are. So that's why I use Binance now. They're also the largest by volume, so you're not going to go wrong trading these guys. I mean, they have huge liquidity, right? Look at this. 1.2. If you look at the screen here, they've got 90,000 contracts open for the $35,000 price range. For 35,200, they have 90,000 contracts, 90,000 contracts open. So it's a lot of liquidity here. So if you want to get in and out of your positions, you can. And that goes the same for the spot market too. Let's take a look at 100. Yeah, I mean, look, at any good serious interval, like 36,000, you get 100 Bitcoin for sale. 36,500, you get 114 Bitcoin. So if you want to trade full Bitcoins, you can get in and out of positions like no problem. Never mind trading fractions of Bitcoins. So yeah, I highly recommend Binance. All right, YouTubers, that's it for today, and hopefully that was helpful. If not, please leave a comment or message below, and maybe I can make a future video to address the tutorial, because I've been at this for a few years, so I'm not sure. So my mind is not where a beginner's would be, so I don't know if I'm going too fast or going too slow. So please, again, leave your comments, and I can definitely help you. All right, take care.